desk setups. It's always hard to create them, especially when you don't have enough space. But it's always fun to create something that's going to be yours, especially when you can create it to your own unique way compared it to some other places. As long as you have the tools necessary and the equipment, anything could be possible. Bringing this piece of wood was actually really fun. Knowing that I was going to have a bigger desk that I had a few months ago was actually really excited. All I had to do was make sure everything was propped open and clicked in its place, because the last thing you want is to start putting items on top of your desk and everything just comes apart. Something I forgot to do was to make sure everything was secure, but at the end of the day, I placed the desk up, make sure nothing came apart, and placed it in its original spot so I can start working on it. Bringing the table closer to the wall, I also grabbed the monitor arms that I was going to be working on for my two monitors. I made sure everything was secure, but these do come with these little latches that you connect to the table. Before anything, you have to connect these metal bars to the actual monitor arms. They come with 3 screws. Make sure you tighten them tightly because they are a pain in the ass to fix later on in the future. I recommend you use your hands first to tighten them, and then you can use the Allen key that is provided with these monitor arms to make sure everything is fully secured. One of the great things about these monitor arms, it also comes with USB pass-throughs, or you can use these as cable management holes where you can route cables and other stuff that you want in front of your computer, like a keyboard or a mouse. Once you figured out where your latches are going to be placed at, you can use a 2x6 piece of wood to fully secure your latches, just in case your table does have a little lip where it interferes with it. After placing my monitor arms, I'm going to be using this LG 32-inch monitor as my primary that I was able to get for Black Friday these last holidays. One of the things I use is a pillow, just in case my monitor were to fall, or just by placing it on the table and it won't wobble as much. Once I put my pillow down, I was able to start placing the vise in its original spots where the screws were going to be inserted. I usually place my screws in a star pattern, but I really don't know if it makes a difference at this point. All I know is that my screws came in perfectly and nothing was stripped. Please triple check that all your screws are in tightly. The last thing you want is to mess up the inside of your monitor and not be able to use that hole anymore. After finishing the last screws, the next thing was to start my next monitor. For my secondary monitor, I was going to be using this 27-inch MSI monitor in a vertical position, and it was back to the same steps as I was before. And yes, I did use the pillow as well this time. After placing my monitors in the orientation I wanted it, next was the placement of other objects that I was going to use in my setup, like my Xbox. I truly didn't know if I was going to use this in a vertical or horizontal position, but I think horizontal looks the best, just to hide it from the way. Next in line was my microphone arm that I bought off of Amazon. You can easily attach this to the end of the desk, and then you can insert this metal bar that your microphone that will be attached to it. For my microphone, I will be using the Yeti Blue, something basic that everybody uses, but it's still very good for the quality that you get for the price. Just be careful if you do want to buy this monitor arm. There has been reports of cross-threading using the given adapter. Thankfully, I didn't have any of these problems. Once done setting up my microphone, it was time to find a placement for the heart of my setup. This is my X-Proto PC that I built a while back. It works perfectly for my everyday tasks. Yes, it's an open case design, but dust doesn't cover it as much as I expected it. One of the cool things about this case is that I can choose to have it vertical or horizontal, but at this point I really don't know what I should choose. One of the downsides about it is that the cables tend to show up more if you don't have a 90-degree adapters for the cables. It's something that I chose to live with, but it's fine. Once I found a spot for most of the items in my setup, it started to look complete. I forgot to mention, but all the items will be in the description down below if you want to check anything out. I also bought these flexible LEDs from Amazon to go around the table. It's something inexpensive, but it's always fun to look at when you have them around. Just make sure you clean around any surfaces you intend to use these LED lights, so in the future they won't be ripping off. Make sure you buy the right amount so you're not left with a big roll of LEDs just laying there. Something I messed up on was not centering my strips in a straight line. You can also leave a section without letting the adhesive stick to the metal bars, just in case you need to fix something down the line. Placing everything was easy, but now I had to make sure all the cables were long enough. This is probably one of the most satisfying parts of my setup. I was able to hide all the cables behind the vertical monitor since I really can't have a cable rack under the desk. This desk is long, so I can't really drill or alter it in any way. I will also probably buy a 90-degree cable adapters for my PC since the cables do protrude a lot more than I expected. I also forgot to mention that the Xbox and the MSI monitor are European spec, so I had to get its own converter box. At the end of the day, all the cables found its place, and I was able to test them out and make sure everything was adequate and fit in its place. Connecting the Wi-Fi antenna to the motherboard was easy, and I like how it looks like a shark fin as well. But the only bad thing about it is that it can't stand on its own. So I decided to put some of the cables inside of the PC. That was the best option. And to also do some cable management, connecting the microphone is simple. All you had to do is connect one USB cable. That's probably the first thing I'll upgrade in this setup. Next was my switch. That will go under my monitor, and the wireless charging pad for my phone while I'm gaming or just doing some work. I also placed my F1 car next to my PC. It's something that motivates me every day. All I'll say is I'm a Checo fan. So just calm down in the comments. The last thing I had to do was connect my PC, just to make sure I didn't burn anything. Now for my peripherals, I wanted everything to be wireless. I had this keyboard when it first came out, and it's been fun having it. A 65% is amazing just to have, and I really can't complain about it. For the features it comes with, this is probably one of the best keyboards Asus has to offer. For the mouse, I went with the Asus Chroma. I believe that's how it's called. I wanted it to stay in the same family as my keyboard. It's also wireless, and it has some extra features that can be used during games or just video editing. The only complaint I have with it is that the Joy-Con is a bit far from my reach. For audio, I'll be using the SteelSeries Nova headphones. I haven't opened them yet. I'm gonna try to do a review and see if I can actually do it. I'll buy some speakers down the line, but for now, these will have to do. For my Xbox, I'll be using my old pair of SteelSeries headphones that I had for a while. I also bought this camera desk mount stand. For the price, it comes with excellent quality, and it's easy to adjust. The shortest distance this thing has is 19 inches, and it can go all the way up to 39 inches. That's pretty big. I was planning on using this for an actual camera, but then I had a better idea. I wanted to have more light in my room. So after clamping it down and finding the right height and location, I was almost done. Making sure everything was stable, I secured everything in place and made sure nothing was unstable. After that, my light box was able to go on top. All you have to do is secure the light box to the stand, and the cable is long enough to do anything, and everything fits perfectly. Once my lighting was done, I added a small drawer at the bottom of the desk just so I can store stuff or rest my feet on top. This chair was a gift from an old friend. I have no idea what model it is, but I'll add it in the screen. It was free, and it's much better than using a wooden chair. I'll probably upgrade this in the future. The only downside that I see on it gets warm really quickly, and the armrest shake a lot. Turning on the main light and seeing my setup come to life makes me really happy. I understand it's not the best, nor it has the most expensive items, but for what it is, honestly, I can't complain. And I truly challenge everybody to do a video of their setup, just to show the world what you got and how you created it, because everybody's different in their unique way. Will I be upgrading some stuff? Yeah, of course, but with time. I have no rush for homework, video editing, or just playing video games. This is everything I need. I plan on putting shelves on the wall and adding different details into the room, but I have to ask permission since I only live here for the meanwhile. Yes, my Xbox is connected and I can switch from PC to Xbox at any point. Oh yeah, one last thing. Meanwhile I was doing this setup video, I accidentally fried my LEDs and my fans. I think I disconnected the cable meanwhile my PC was on, and then I could smell smoke. So yeah, this was cool, but now I have no LEDs on my fan. Doesn't matter, my fans work perfectly fine, but at least give me an F in the chat. Thank you for watching and see you next time. I don't know, subscribe if you want, I guess.